Welcome to another video by SERUpractice.com. The example route that we have here today with us is very interesting. It is interesting for a number of reasons. First of all, this route has a lot of different topographical route rules involved. Second thing is that this question allows us to learn and tackle different questions in different ways in terms of planning and solving so that we can come up with the perfect direct possible route. So let's begin with reading the instructions. Plot a direct route from Formosa Street W9, which is our green marker right here at Formosa Street, to Pelham Street Southwest 7, which is our red marker right here. So as always, let's begin with the planning. We will draw a straight line from our green marker to our red marker. Here immediately you can see some of the things very clearly. That this route involves us to cross Hyde Park. Being a PHV driver aspirant, to pass this exam, it is very important that we have a good level of familiarity with the map of London City. And for a person who understands this map, knows immediately that there is no road inside Hyde Park through which you can directly cross. For instance, this street right here, the Broad Walk, this street is inside the Hyde Park, but it is not connected with the highway A402. Right? So basically right here we can assume that we have to go around the Hyde Park. In terms of that, what I want to teach you here is we should decide which side is closer and which side has a much longer distance so that you can choose in which direction will you be traveling. So in this case, you can clearly see that this side has much lesser distance as compared to this side, right? So immediately we can think that our route should look something like this. And this is exactly what we will be focusing on in our planning. Now let's begin with our actual planning and see what kind of things we are going to face in this example question. So right here at the Formosa Street, there would be a lot of students who would be making mistake of going this way around so that they can go here. But we should always check all sides of our starting point. So here you can see that at Formosa Street, we have a choice that we can continue down on this lane. Now, as you know that this is a one-way, so we cannot enter this street. But if we take a left turn from here, and then continue on Warwick Avenue, it will directly lead us to Marylebone flyover. We are not interested in going to the flyover per se, but we are interested in exploring this area underneath Marylebone flyover. So what we have here are two roundabouts. So using those, we can come on to the Bishop Bridge Road, A4206. I believe from there, our goal is to cross this park from this side, therefore using this road, and then eventually you can see that you also, although you have a lot of different choices, but what we are thriving for is always to plot the most direct possible route, right? So right here you can see that Queen's Way is a one-way road which is in opposite direction. We cannot enter here, but right here is another street which is one way in our direction. So we can take this street to come onto this expressway, then use Kensington Church to arrive at A315. From here, we should similarly do the same thing to come onto this section of the expressway, and then finally try to arrive at Pelham Street. So in this planning, you would have noticed that there are central reservations involved, there are one-ways involved, there is extensive planning required that how exactly can we start from our starting point, which is Formosa Street, and arrive at Pelham Street. Now, if we have completed our planning, let me show you something very interesting first. Now what you're seeing on the screen is a set of topographical route rules developed by SERUpractice.com. This is exactly what we teach to our students in one-on-one topographical lessons. With the help of learning these topographical route rules, it becomes easier for students to easily access the information being provided in the maps, because I always tell my students that the map is not there to make your life difficult. The map is actually there to make things easier for you, so that just by looking at the map you can immediately know what exactly it is that you're allowed to do and what is forbidden, what is something that if you do will break the rule. And as you might, in fact, you for sure you already know that in topographical route assessment, if we make a mistake, then we have to lose marks, even if it is a very simple silly mistake. So in regards to the example question which we are solving today, we have multiple things from our topographical route rules that can help us identify. For example, this is one-way roads. Similarly, as I was mentioning, central reservation. So it is very important to understand the concept of central reservation, that when does it starts, when does it ends, how we can navigate ourselves around this kind of area. Similarly, recognizing dead ends, that it is a no access, which kind of streets and expressways or roads are connected with each other and which ones are dead ends, just like the example of the broad walk that I gave you. Similarly, there might be unmarked one ways which we should be taking into account very carefully, because if you go on wrong direction in an unmarked one way, then your whole question becomes bogus. So once again, putting emphasis that it is not important that how many routes can you remember, how many tunnels have you memorized or crammed, but what's really important being a PHV driver is that you know how to read map, and then you can solve any route plan question. Now that we have finished our planning, let's start the actual drawing. So removing all unnecessary lines, let's begin with our starting point. Remember, we always start from our green marker and make our way towards red marker. And honestly, although it sounds like a very simple and mundane thing to mention, but I have seen students sometimes being anxious, trying to do everything quickly, and they end up making this very common mistake of starting from their red marker and moving towards their green marker, which is obviously wrong. So starting from Formosa Street, as we had planned that this is the most suitable route for us, because from here we can take a turn at Warwick Avenue, come down the street and arrive at our first roundabout. So maybe many of you do not know already that underneath Melbourne flyover in this area there is not one but actually two roundabouts. So this small triangle that you can see here, it is actually beneath this flyover because it is a 2D map. We cannot see it underneath this expressway, which is a flyover, but actually it is a shape like this. And we are interested in going towards A4206, but we cannot do something like this, right? Because it will be a mistake. Right here, it is a one way. So the correct way to cross this road is to go on the Harrow, then take a turn underneath Marylebone flyover, and tada, you are on A4206. Now our next step is to arrive at this point so that we can cross the Hyde Park. And for that, what we simply need to do is to keep pushing and keep our route very limited, not to get too much extracted and getting too away from our red marker. Right here, we will take a turn on this side because it is a two-way. It is completely allowed to go in this direction. Always make sure that you're not making any kind of mistake. Sometimes we would be thinking that we have taken the correct turn and it is the correct turn, but in the process we go being from left hand side to on the right hand side, and that is a mistake. We can never draw lines on the right hand side. Our lines should always be on the left hand side of the road. So right here, the concept which I was already mentioning, central reservation, it is very important to understand that even at this point you can see that the central reservation is continuous. So these are the things which we really put an emphasis on when teaching our students in one-on-one topographical lessons. And this is exactly the reason that why many and so many thousands of our students have passed topographical route planning assessment with 85%, 89%, even above 90% marks. You can see their certificates on our websites as well. Arriving at this point, this is exactly where we are going. So this is something I also encourage students to do, that if it seems like it is a very long route and you can forget your pinpoints, wherever you are, you can just draw a straight line to your destination and plan things ahead of you. So here, this line is kind of giving us an idea where we should go. So I can think of this one route in particular, that I can travel on expressway, then take a right turn here on B325 road. It will take me to this point, and probably I will have to take a turn here. But also, why not just continue down straight and then try to arrive here directly? This looks like a much more subtle approach. Remove the last drawn unnecessary line, continue with our original route, and we are trying to arrive at this particular road. Now it is also two-way all along the way, so we can go continuing straight down. I hope all of these things are making sense to somebody who is watching it with the perspective that they can learn how to draw the routes on the map. And this is something ordinary to say, but I would like to take the opportunity of saying that you should always try to make sure that there's a distance between the boundary of your road and the middle of the road, so that your lines are neat and clean and they're not touching any boundaries. Here you can see that we have a strain of central reservations, which means that if you are at this stage, then you cannot cross it. But right now we are moving before the central reservation, which is okay. So if there is no central reservation at a turn, then of course you can cross that road. But if there is a central reservation, then unfortunately you cannot cross from there. So arriving at this point, it is very closer to our destination. We will take a turn, small turn here, and then another turn here, which will take us to our destination. When you have finished completing drawing, make sure that your green marker is connected with your red marker with the help of this line. You have not made any mistakes. Review your route and do not forget, to press the stop drawing button. Thank you for watching. We regularly share videos to help you prepare for your PHV driver's license and TfL assessments, including SERU, speaking and listening, and topographical route planning. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit bell icon so you don't miss any future updates. To learn more, visit our website serupractice.com, where you will find everything you need to prepare with confidence. We have helped thousands of students pass their tests, many with the scores over 90%. You can see some of their recent pass certificates on our websites. We also offer one-on-one topographical lessons with experienced instructors, available in English, Urdu, Hindi, Bangla, Farsi, and Pashto. Don't just take our word for it. We have over 50 genuine Facebook reviews with a 100% positive feedback rate from real students. Also, while on the go, don't forget to follow TfL Tests on Facebook. If you have any questions, message us on WhatsApp using the number on your screen, or you can call us directly at 020-3965-7202, or visit our website www.serupractice.com. We are here to help. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.